The afternoon sun beat down mercilessly on Highway 9 as Jake Sullivan wiped the sweat from his forehead and reached for another wrench from his toolbox. At 34, he had been running Sullivan's Auto Repair for 6 years, building a reputation for honest work and fair prices that kept his small shop busy, despite competition from the larger chain stores in town. Today was supposed to be Jake's day off, a rare Saturday afternoon he had planned to spend with his 8-year-old daughter, Mia, at the local park. But when old Mrs. Henderson had called about her broken-down car stranding her at the grocery store, Jake could not ignore someone in need. He had loaded his portable tools and jumper cables into his pickup truck, leaving Mia with her babysitter, Mrs. Garcia, for what he hoped would be a quick repair job. As Jake worked under Mrs. Henderson's hood, tracing the source of her electrical problem, he heard the screech of tires and the sharp sound of impact from the road behind him. He turned to see a luxury sedan that had apparently swerved to avoid a pothole and clipped the concrete barrier, leaving the driver's side wheel bent at an unnatural angle. Jake quickly finished connecting Mrs. Henderson's new battery cables and told her to try starting her engine. The car roared to life and she thanked him profusely before driving away safely. But Jake's attention was already focused on the disabled luxury car and the figure he could see slumped over the steering wheel. He jogged across the road, his work boots crunching on scattered glass and debris. As he approached the driver's side, he could see that the occupant was a woman in her early 30s, well-dressed in a green business suit but clearly dazed from the impact. Blood trickled from a cut on her forehead where she had apparently struck the side window. "Ma'am, are you okay?" Jake called out, tapping gently on the window. The woman looked up slowly, her eyes unfocused. She tried to speak but seemed disoriented and confused. Jake noticed that the driver's door was jammed from the impact, but the passenger door appeared undamaged. "Do not try to move too quickly," Jake said, moving around to the passenger side. "I am going to help you get out of there, and then we need to make sure you are not seriously hurt." He opened the passenger door carefully and leaned across to assess her condition. The woman was conscious but clearly suffering from a concussion, and the cut on her forehead needed attention. "My name is Jake," he said gently. "What is your name?" "Catherine," she managed to whisper. "I think I hit my head." Jake helped Catherine carefully slide across to the passenger seat and then step out of the damaged vehicle. He guided her to sit on the grass beside the road away from traffic and used a clean shop towel from his truck to gently clean the blood from her forehead. "Catherine, I think you have a concussion," Jake said. "We need to get you to a hospital to be checked out properly." Catherine nodded weakly, then seemed to become more aware of her surroundings. "My car," she said, looking back at the damaged sedan with dismay. Jake followed her gaze to the luxury vehicle. The wheel damage was severe, and the impact had likely affected the alignment and suspension as well. It would definitely need professional repair before it could be driven safely. "I can arrange to have it towed to my shop," Jake offered, "but right now the important thing is getting you medical attention." He called 911 and requested an ambulance, then stayed with Catherine until the paramedics arrived. As they loaded her onto a stretcher for transport to the hospital, Catherine grasped Jake's hand. "Thank you," she said. "I do not know what would have happened if you had not been here." "Anyone would have done the same thing," Jake replied. "Focus on getting better and do not worry about your car. I will make sure it gets proper care." The next Monday, Jake was surprised when a tow truck delivered Catherine's sedan to his shop. He had assumed she would take it to one of the upscale repair facilities that specialized in luxury vehicles. When she called later that day, her voice was stronger but still carried traces of fatigue. "Jake, this is Catherine Morrison. You helped me on Saturday after my accident." "Of course," Jake said. "How are you feeling?" "Much better, thank you to your quick thinking," Catherine replied. "The doctor said you were right about the concussion, and that getting immediate medical attention probably prevented more serious complications." She paused, then continued. "I wanted to ask you about repairing my car. I know your shop probably does not usually work on vehicles like mine, but I trust your judgment and I would prefer to have someone I know is honest handle the repairs. Jake looked out at the damaged sedan, mentally cataloging the work it would need. I can definitely handle the mechanical repairs, but for a car like this you might want to consider a shop that specializes in luxury vehicles. The parts alone are going to be expensive. I am not worried about the cost, Catherine said. What I care about is having work done by someone who will do it right and treat me fairly. Over the following week, Jake threw himself into repairing Catherine's car with the same meticulous care he brought to every job, regardless of the vehicle's value. He researched the specific requirements for her model, ordered genuine parts, and took extra time to ensure that every detail was perfect. When Catherine came to pick up her car the following Friday, Jake was putting the finishing touches on, cleaning the interior and polishing the exterior. She looked much healthier than she had the previous week, though she still wore a small bandage over the cut on her forehead. "It looks beautiful," she said, running her hand along the gleaming hood. "You did not have to detail it." "I take pride in my work," Jake replied simply. "A job is not finished until the customer is completely satisfied." Catherine smiled and handed him her credit card. Jake pulled out his invoice, which itemized the parts and labor at his shop's standard rates. Catherine looked at the total and frowned. "Jake, this seems too low. I researched what this type of repair should cost, and your prices are significantly lower than what other shops quoted." Jake shrugged. "I charge fair prices for good work. I do not believe in taking advantage of people just because they can afford it." Something in Catherine's expression changed, and she studied Jake with new interest. "You do not know who I am, do you?" Jake felt a moment of confusion. "You are Catherine Morrison, and you were in an accident. Is there something else I should know?" Catherine smiled, but there was something both amused and touched in her expression. "Jake, I am Catherine Morrison, CEO of Morrison Technologies. My company is worth about $2 billion. Jake stared at her in shock. Morrison Technologies was one of the largest tech companies in the region, and Catherine Morrison was frequently featured in business magazines as one of the most successful entrepreneurs under 40. "I had no idea," Jake said honestly. "But it would not have changed anything. You needed help, and you deserved honest work at fair prices regardless of who you are." Catherine's smile grew warmer. "That is exactly why I want to talk to you about something. My company has been looking for a partner to handle our corporate vehicle maintenance. We have a fleet of about 200 cars, trucks, and vans that need regular service." She pulled a business card from her purse and handed it to Jake. "I have been searching for a shop owner who combines technical skill with absolute integrity. Someone who treats every customer with the same respect and honesty, whether they drive a 20-year-old pickup truck or a brand new luxury sedan." Jake looked at the business card, then back at Catherine. "You are offering me a corporate contract because I helped you and fixed your car?" "I am offering you a corporate contract because you helped a stranger without asking who she was or what she could do for you," Catherine corrected. "Because you did excellent work at fair prices, and because you have shown me the kind of character that I want my company to do business with." 3 months later, Sullivan's Auto Repair had expanded into a larger facility with additional staff to handle the Morrison Technologies fleet contract. Jake was able to hire 2 more mechanics, including his friend Carlos, who had been laid off from another shop. The steady corporate work provided financial security that allowed Jake to spend more quality time with Mia, and even start a college fund for her future. But the most meaningful change was not financial. Jake had discovered that his reputation for honest dealing had caught the attention of other business owners in the area, leading to additional contracts and referrals that established his shop as one of the most respected in the region. Catherine had become not just a customer but a friend, often stopping by the shop to check on progress and to chat with Jake about business and life. She had also insisted on establishing a scholarship program for children of automotive workers, inspired by learning about Jake's dedication to providing for Mia as a single father. Looking back on that hot Saturday afternoon when he had chosen to help a stranger, instead of spending the day at the park, Jake realized that sometimes the most important business decisions are the ones we make based on simple human decency rather than calculated advantage. He had stopped to help Catherine not because he knew she was wealthy or influential, but because someone needed assistance and he was in a position to provide it. That choice had led to opportunities he could never have imagined. But more importantly, it had reinforced his belief that success built on integrity and genuine care for others is the only kind worth having. The accident that had brought them together had taught both Jake and Catherine that true character is revealed not in boardrooms or business negotiations, but in moments when we choose to help others simply because it is the right thing to do.